The Mediterranean, long celebrated for its sparkling blue waters and idyllic coastlines, has always been a symbol of summer escape and natural beauty. From the sun-drenched beaches of Spain to the picturesque shores of Greece, this region has drawn millions seeking relaxation and adventure. But, beneath the postcard-perfect surface, the Mediterranean is now facing a severe and growing drought crisis that threatens its very way of life. Scientists are sounding the alarm. Summer 2026 could become one of the driest on record, with water supplies for millions of people hanging in the balance. The warning signs are everywhere, and the urgency is mounting. Rivers and reservoirs across southern Europe are already at dangerously low levels. Farmers from Barcelona to Athens are watching their fields dry up, worried about their crops, their livelihoods, and the future of their communities. This crisis isn't just about missing out on beach days or summer fun. It's about the essentials: drinking water, food security, and the economic stability of entire regions. Towns are rationing water, and some beaches are even closing due to extreme shortages. Years of below-average rainfall, combined with record-breaking heat waves, have pushed the Mediterranean to a dangerous tipping point. The land is turning brown, and temperatures continue to soar, making recovery even harder. The snowpack in the Alps and Pyrenees, vital sources for rivers like the Po and Ebro, is shrinking fast. Spring rains, once reliable, now arrive late or not at all, leaving riverbeds dry and communities vulnerable. In this video, we'll dive into the science behind the Mediterranean's drought, examine how it's impacting families, farmers, and entire economies, and look at the urgent solutions needed to secure water for the future. The stakes have never been higher. The choices made today, by governments, communities, and individuals, will decide whether this crisis is managed or if it permanently reshapes life across the Mediterranean. The time to act is now. Drought in the Mediterranean is more than just missing rain. It's a chain reaction that ripples through every aspect of life. When the skies stay clear for too long, the consequences go far beyond what we see on the surface. It begins with meteorological drought, when rainfall is scarce. Soon after, agricultural drought sets in as crops struggle to survive in the parched soil. Eventually, hydrological drought follows, with rivers and reservoirs shrinking, sometimes to record lows, leaving entire communities scrambling for water. Water restrictions become the new normal in cities, forcing families to ration every drop. Meanwhile, farmers watch helplessly as fields of wheat, olives, and tomatoes, crops that have sustained the region for centuries, wither and die under the relentless sun. The economic toll is staggering. Crop failures lead to empty market shelves and soaring food prices, putting basic staples out of reach for many families and threatening the livelihoods of those who depend on agriculture. Nature pays a heavy price too. Wetlands dry up, fish and birds disappear, and fragile habitats are lost. As vegetation dries out, wildfires become more frequent and intense, devastating forests and wildlife. These fires don't just destroy trees, they consume homes, displace families, and leave behind scorched, eroded soil. This damage makes it even harder for the land to recover, increasing the risk of future droughts. For many, daily life is transformed. Water rationing schedules, pressure cuts, and storing water in rooftop tanks become part of the routine as everyone adapts to a new, harsher reality. The cycle of drought and land degradation is accelerating, stripping the land of its fertility and making the region ever more vulnerable to future crises. This isn't just a weather problem, it's a crisis that touches every part of life, from the food we eat to the water we drink, from our homes to our communities. The Mediterranean's future depends on breaking this cycle, by working together, finding new solutions, and restoring balance to a region that has always depended on water for life. Spain is at the heart of Europe's drought crisis, a situation that has been escalating over the past few years. The once lush landscapes are now barren, and the vibrant fields have turned into desolate stretches of dry earth. Reservoirs near Barcelona are at historic lows, forcing strict water restrictions and revealing sunken villages that have been hidden for decades. These ghostly remnants of the past serve as a stark reminder of the severity of the current situation. Farmers in Andalusia and Catalonia are abandoning crops as olive groves and orchards die. The once thriving agricultural regions are now struggling to survive, with many farmers facing financial ruin as their livelihoods dry up, along with their fields. Agriculture, a pillar of Spain's economy, is suffering. Exports like olives and wine are down, and food prices are up. The ripple effect is felt across the nation, as consumers face higher costs and reduced availability of staple goods. Government aid helps, but tensions rise as regions and industries compete for dwindling water. Protests are becoming more frequent, with citizens demanding fair distribution and sustainable solutions to the crisis. In Italy's Po River Valley, drought has allowed saltwater to invade farmland, ruining crops and contaminating water. This intrusion not only devastates the current harvest, but also threatens future agricultural productivity. Towns rely on trucked-in water, and even Rome's iconic fountains have been shut off to save supplies. The cultural and historical significance of these fountains makes their closure a poignant symbol of the crisis. Hydroelectric power is threatened, forcing a return to fossil fuels and worsening the climate crisis. This shift not only impacts energy prices, but also contributes to the very problem it seeks to solve. The drought's impact is visible everywhere: empty rivers, parched fields, and communities on edge. The anxiety is palpable as people wonder how long they can endure these conditions. The feedback loop is clear: climate-driven droughts force choices that can make the crisis worse. Decision-makers are under pressure to find solutions that balance immediate needs with long-term sustainability. The Mediterranean's breadbaskets are turning to dust, threatening food security, not just locally, but globally. The loss of these vital agricultural areas could have far-reaching consequences. Urgent action is needed to break this cycle. Activists and policymakers alike are calling for innovative approaches to water management and conservation to ensure a sustainable future for the region. Greece's summers are now dangerously hot, with relentless heat waves and little rain. Farmers struggle to keep water-intensive crops alive, and even ancient olive groves are at risk. On the islands, limited freshwater and booming tourism push water systems to the brink, forcing expensive desalination and imports. A severe drought could cripple tourism, the backbone of many local economies. In Turkey, cities like Istanbul face shrinking reservoirs, while farmers in the southeast depend on rivers shared with Syria and Iraq. Water scarcity is fueling regional tensions and threatening both urban and rural life. Lakes and wetlands are disappearing, signaling deep ecological change. The crisis is reshaping ancient lands, demanding urgent adaptation. The Mediterranean is warming 20% faster than the global average. Climate change is supercharging droughts here. Greenhouse gases trap heat, making summers hotter, longer, and drier. Persistent high-pressure heat domes block rain and bake the land. Higher temperatures mean more evaporation, drying out soil, plants, and rivers, even if rainfall stayed the same. But rainfall isn't staying the same. Winters and springs are drier, and mountain snow melts too early. The result is a widening gap between water supply and demand. Agriculture, power generation, and daily life all compete for shrinking resources. This isn't just a natural cycle, it's a crisis amplified by human-driven climate change. The forecast for 2000% or 2026: more heat, less water, and greater risk. The region's future depends on urgent action now. Recent years have shown us what's coming. The 2022 drought was Europe's worst in 500 years. Major rivers shrank, shipping halted, and agriculture suffered. States of emergency were declared and water restrictions became the norm. In 2023, Spain imported grain as harvests failed, and Barcelona prepared to bring in water by ship. French towns ran dry, relying on trucked water. These crises exposed the limits of outdated water systems and the ripple effects across Europe. Droughts pit farmers against cities and regions, against each other. The lesson: we can't afford to be reactive. Proactive planning and investment are essential. Water conservation, efficient irrigation, and diversified sources are now survival strategies. The question for 2026: have we learned, or are we waiting for the next emergency? Governments must act now to prevent disaster in 2026. Fixing leaky pipes, where up to 40% of water is lost, is the fastest way to boost supply. Diversifying sources is crucial. Expand water recycling and desalination, turning waste and seawater into valuable resources. Agriculture must modernize, shifting from wasteful flood irrigation to efficient drip systems and drought-resistant crops. Policies, subsidies, and training can help farmers adapt. Drought plans must be clear, tiered, and ready to activate as conditions worsen. Real-time monitoring with satellites and sensors is essential. Collaboration with farmers, industry, and communities ensures fair, effective solutions. National leadership is vital. Waiting is not an option. The time to act is now. Individuals play a crucial role in fighting drought. Simple habits, shorter showers, fixing leaks, running full loads, save vast amounts of water. Choosing water-efficient appliances and repairing drips can cut household use dramatically. Rethink gardens, replace thirsty lawns with native, drought-tolerant plants and mulch to retain moisture. Water early or late to reduce evaporation. Stay informed, support water-wise policies, and encourage others to conserve. Every drop saved matters. Collective action adds up. Together, we can make a real difference for summer 2026 and beyond. The Mediterranean drought crisis crosses borders. No country can solve it alone. Rivers and weather systems connect us all, demanding regional cooperation, sharing data, monitoring water resources, and developing joint early warning systems are essential. The EU can fund research and foster collaboration, building a collective response. Joint investments in infrastructure and fair management of shared rivers prevent conflict and ensure survival. Solidarity is key. From farmers to engineers, everyone has a role. The Mediterranean has thrived for millennia by adapting. Now we must adapt to less water together. The challenge is immense, but solutions are within reach if we work as one. Our future depends on it.